out in the garden, and so it's something degrees, and it's really bright here. It's a 3 bin system. Started out with one made from some pallets, and then I went and got some chicken wire, and then I added another piece of old pallet and some chicken wire and even some string over here to make another bin. And I even use some bricks. So for those people that don't build a lot, you can be pretty handy. Even if your sister and not used to saws and you don't have a lot of fancy equipment, you can be um, pretty handy. So I got my gloves here because sometimes you'll find some things in here, some different herbs, or it can make you. Although I like to feel everything with my hands, to feel everything with my hands, I've experienced getting rashes and hives from different plants that I may not be familiar with. So it might be a good idea to get some inexpensive, because sometimes you get some big, hefty weeds in there. So I'll show you some of the compost that's in here. So we had mounds and mounds and mounds. And when I say high, mounds and mounds and mounds of fruit and vegetable scraps. So it's amazing as I'm getting ready to go turn this over to see if we have some soil. The ants, still some things, see some things. The ants are pretty much eating all the food, and maybe sometimes I can find a piece of old pineapple, a pineapple top. Everything is pretty much broken down. And maybe you can see that there's some pumpkin seeds in there. It's my old cheap shovel, inexpensive shovel. So these are things we're spending our money on. Some chicken wire. Don't need a whole bunch of clothes, but I'm very interested in growing food. So the nice thing as I'm digging down further here, I gotta watch this whole pile. I'm going down. I can see some of this has started to break down into some soil. That's what I'm looking for. But this is gonna be so rich. Look at that. Yeah, when I uncover it, I don't know if you can see that because it's so bright. But that's the gold that I'm looking for. Ooh, this has been here for months. So that's why we want a 3 bin system so we can fill area. Take my glove for a second. So we want a 3 bin system so that we can, by my no banana tree over here, plant it, so that we can turn some of the soil from the first, this one rest, then you fill up the 2nd bin, and then you have the 3rd bin. This one we have browns and greens. So it might be a little bit different if you're in the city. You might have more grass if you have access to grass. If you only have access to a community garden, sometimes they'll have pre-set up compost bins. My sister and I used to drop off compost regularly in Brooklyn on our bicycles, and they have bins divided that you can turn over. And we'd also drop bins off at local parks and where there are farmers markets. So the beautiful gold that I'm looking for, I don't know if you can see that. This here looks more like wood chips, and these are broken down, but all the way down is that rich soil. That's what we want to put back into the plants so that the vegetables can have more nutrient content and minerals. And also that will cause the vegetables to taste sweeter, and it also will strengthen the soil. We're professionals, so I'm definitely learning as I go along. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to ask, because I'll share what I know. But really grateful for the warm weather, for enough to break this stuff down. In this 2nd bin, you can see this is all the way up to the top. So with the rain, this is starting to break down, and this is the freshest of these piles. And we know someone that's a carpenter. It looks like there's one squash that went bad in there over here. So we'll get wood chips that are untreated, and we'll use them in the garden to cover the fruit and vegetable scraps, which we have, again, like mountains of. We acquire mountains of. And then actually you won't have any smell because we're not putting any kind of meat or dairy inside the pile. There you can see some of the pineapple tops. But in there, I'm really happy to see that there's actually some soil that is broken down. So this is taking a while because that's been in some. a pile that seemed like almost disappeared. And it amazed me to think of just how much volume the fruits and vegetables are, but they have so much water inside of them. So that's us locks in the garden today. Join us again for more time in the garden. If you like and subscribe, you can hit the bell button out of when there are live. So back out, look at hot. Okay, so as we were saying that we have all of this live compost in here, and the soil is really breaking down, and that's what we want. When you see in there, it's really turning into like a dirt. So it takes quite a while to break down. So the more fruits and vegetables you eat, the better. And we've covered them with some wood chips that are untreated without any kind of stain or varnish on it. So yeah, you can see here, probably should put some gloves on. You can see here, there's some coconut left. I'm sure that sometimes you'll find little bugs or worms in there, but they've mostly eaten everything out. But it's going to be, it's a living compost, right? So all this is from old pineapple, and this was mounds and mounds high, and you can still see the pumpkin seeds that were eaten. So depending on what's available at the market, you can, as I go through these layers of compost, I can see exactly what it is that we've been eating. So it's a lot of evidence. Somebody look for evidence of what we're eating. It's an old piece of everything. So basically, I want all of this compost to break down so I can put it back into the soil here, and we want to put minerals, nitrogen, and different things back into the soil because we're taking a lot out of the soil. So as we started out with this one from some pallets, and this one I took some chicken wire. For this side, it's like a 3-bin system, and a 3-bin system meaning that while this first one is resting, when we pile it all the way up and fill it all the way up, then this second one, we start to fill it up. When it fills all the way up, then we go to the third one. And then I add on this other little piece with a brick, and some, some greens, some of the old papaya trees and grass cuttings. And this I used to put on top of the fruits and vegetables, so it has even though it's hot, 90 something, sometimes going up to 100 degrees. The compost is actually cooking in there, so it gets really, really hot. So one is resting, I go to the next one, and then I go to the next one, and I keep the last one full of wood chips. So we want really nutritious soil. So if you're in the city, again, you can do this by usually the community gardens will have a compost bin system where you can go drop your food scraps off. Of course, you don't want any meat or dairy or eggs inside of it. And as we're only eating plant-based, we don't have any of that in it. It's absolutely, there's no smell at all in here. So if you have any questions, please make sure to leave them in the comments. Please hit the subscribe button and the bell so you can be notified whenever we stream lives or when we're doing more stuff. So thanks for joining me on Locks in the Garden, and come with me in the garden again. Really want to encourage those people that are interested in growing some of their own food, something. Even when I was in the city, yeah, it's really hot, so this is going to shut off when out in the hot sun. So again, we're looking for that really rich soil, and we're looking for it to break all the way down, so that can take months. So yeah, join us again in the garden. Hit the subscribe and the notification button. Come in. Yeah, so join us again. Yeah, so join us again in the garden.